morning. This is the Finance Pastor, and what a great day in the stock market. It is a day that many people are expecting. It just has been a bullish market. Many of the investors are shrugging off even some of the data that is coming out that might not be favorable, but it seems like a lot of the data that's coming out, just investors are shrugging it off. One of the stocks that has been driving the market today has been Salesforce. CRM is their ticker symbol. They have shot up over 32 points overnight in pre-market. And also Marvel Technologies, the Marvel series, also went up 18 points. It is crossed the $100 mark. It's in the 114 range. And a lot of news that's coming out. Some of the private payrolls were up 146,000 today, but even it was less than expected. But the market just shrugged this news off and really just clinged onto the Marvel and also Salesforce earnings and a lot of the moves that are going on today in the stock market. One thing, something that's going to affect the stock market today, at least for a company, is United Healthcare. Their CEO was tragically killed this morning. It seemed like what reports are coming were in a targeted attack. So that's one of the things is New York City. Many of you who live there, I grew up there, totally understand the things that are going on. But I also want to start less sharing what am I looking at, and that way you can kind of see some of the top news here. We're going to share CNBC. CNBC, you start seeing here, I'm gonna refresh this because the numbers do move. Dow Jones up 248 points, S&P up 20 points. That's a big move for the S&P. Nasdaq 145, and the Russell just coming in a little laggard, just kind of having just an okay type of day. The VIX is down. The VIX determines the volatility of a market, and if the VIX is down, the stock market goes up. So for those of you that are looking to invest or pad your portfolios in the next 4 years, I believe with the Trump administration is going to be some of the best investing you will be able to participate in. And a lot of investing is very simple. Just pick a company that you understand, that you love, and just invest over the long haul. Many people have, I have a short, many people have short-term vision in trading. I like to have long-term. You have to look at what the value of a stock is going to be 5, 10 years from now. Just like the way I purchase real estate, I don't expect the value of real estate to go up the next day that I buy it. So you have to look at it's an equity position that you're playing, and you start seeing that the habit of putting money every single day away, whether it's from your weekly paycheck, and you start investing in companies, in good companies like Salesforce, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, Rivian, all these great companies that are out there, Caterpillar, John Deere, and so many others. You can start protecting your portfolio, but also adding to your portfolio. I'm believing that the next 4 years during the Trump administration, we're going to have some of the best opportunities to invest, not only in real estate, but also in the stock market. And many of you who are watching me right now that are entrepreneurs that are really considering about starting a business, I believe that this is going to be a year for you to really start working on your craft. So we're looking at here news. Let's look at Bloomberg. Anything. I like watching Bloomberg here for some international. As you see the CEO here, fatally shot in Manhattan. This right here, this news right here for South Korea. What does this have to do with the United States? It has everything to do with the peace in that region. South Korea is the neighbor of North Korea, and there's a lot of hostility between those two countries. There's always been a lot of hostility ever since the revolution in the late 20s and 30s, and you start seeing that this is a very big moment for the current president of South Korean, because really a lot of the martial law that he implemented really raised eyebrows even within his party. And many people are not liking what he's did, and this is gonna be something that could break uh, ways with that leader and possibly not making towards the next election. You start seeing French government brink up collapse. On the French, you start seeing that President Trump is going to visit uh, France this weekend, and I think it's going to be a good time for him and Macron. So mass deportation again. Many people have issues with this part, and it. People that are here illegal. There's many things that you can say. The thing is, they broke the law, point blank, and we need to let law enforcement do their job. I believe with by doing letting law enforcement do their job, we are going to create opportunities for people to get back into the workforce. People who have had jobs that maybe have gone to someone that was illegal or is illegal are going to get jobs back, especially in high-paying jobs like construction. You're going to be seeing a lot of people, more people being able to get good paying jobs in construction here. So we start looking at what's going on in the market, and we look at opportunities to always look at opportunities on what we could invest in. I want to take a look at a couple of charts. And if you are watching me right now and you've ever read music, one of the things that I'm going to show you is how you can actually read a stock chart just by, like, if you've ever read music. And a lot of it is very similar, especially when you start looking at support and resistance. I'm going to start looking, sharing, and we're going to start looking at some stock charts. And this is a paper trading account with Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim is I've used to use this a lot. It used to be owned by TD Ameritrade, but Schwab bought them out. But let's look at Marvel right now. This is Marvel. This is a 3-year chart, and we look at drawings here. I'm gonna make this a little bit easier for your eyes to see. These points right here, these little tops are what kind of guide me and give me what's called like a range. A range in the stock market, it basically helps you like look at the stock market with a visual look and determine, is this stock going back to a place that it's been before? And when you read a stock chart, you almost have to go back in order to see where it's going to go into the future. That's why we learn from past mistakes. We learn from the past. Well, this is the same way you look at a stock chart. You look at it from what it has done in the past. Generally, it's a key indicator what it will do in the future. And if we look at a stock like Marvel, right now is this big gap up here. It's called a gap stock. This means that overnight, the earnings report, a lot of the news that came up really pushed this stock up. If you're an options trader, you probably were not able to participate unless you entered into the stock the day before, which was yesterday. But overnight, if you bought the stock, which is a different thing, now you saw moves of about 14, it's now about 18 bucks. And that's a pretty big move in the stock market for a stock that really moves like $3 to $4 in a day. So $18 move. So many investors are enjoying this. Let's look at one of my favorites, and I am a Tesla person. I invest in the stock. I also love doing options on Tesla, which I have options on it today. So right now I'm looking at Tesla. Tesla right here has a high of 400, which it did about a couple of years ago, right before he bought Twitter. And you start seeing that it has not reached this part right here. So I am looking for this stock right here to test, and I'm gonna draw this right up here. To test this range right here, it needs to pass this 402, this $400 mark in order for me to see if Tesla's going to start this next leg up. Uh, ever since the the election, I mean, really, Tesla has taken off, and rightly so. I mean, he's in with the Trump administration. He's already going to be. He's the top medicine of our day. You start looking at stocks like Tesla, and it's a company that you should consider having in your portfolio. Even at the current price that it's in, I still think that this stock has still more wiggle room to move up. The stock split at $800. So if you don't know what a stock split is, the stock was originally at $800. So they did a 3-for-1. So what that did was that the stock, what was 800, let's say like was close to 900. If you had $900 in stock and you had one share, now it becomes three shares at 300. So you had a lot of stock split when he purchased X. And this stock here is almost like building back up that pattern. And generally, when a stock splits, it generally goes back to the price that it originally split from in about a 2 to 5 year range. That's kind of most of the stuff. So even if you bought this stock right now, you I still think you'll double and potentially triple your money just by being patient, even at a $350, $300, $60 price point right now. I really think so. So in my play, Tesla's still a good play, even though it's kind of was a pre-market, but it seemed like it's gotten beat up once the market opened. But it's still a good play for me, in my opinion. And this is opinion alone. I think Tesla's going to go to 1500 in the next 3 to 4 years. I really do. So I am bullish on Tesla. Elon Musk is the top medicine of our day, point blank. So you have to look at innovators like him, innovators like Jeff Bezos, innovators like Jensen Huang, and you got to look at what they're doing. And I believe that Elon Musk is going to be the father of autonomy. What we lived as young kids, for those that are over 40, and if you watch the Jetsons as a kid, we are starting to see exactly many things we thought were never possible in technology. We're starting to see it in our lifetime. Our kids are going to see things that we thought were never possible, and the day will come. The day will come where we'll get into a car and we don't even have to drive. That's gonna be a great day. I believe that Tesla is gonna be at the forefront of that technology. It's not the electric vehicle that I'm bullish on. Now, I could care less. I love my gas guzzler. I love my Ford F-150, but I like the technology of Tesla. I like where the stock is moving, and the future growth of a genius in Elon Musk. And that's what we have. We are lucky to have him in our lifetime. What a treat it is. Let's look at other stocks. The Russell 2000, which is a lot of the mid cap stocks. Again, the Russell 2000, if you've been following what I've been teaching in this stock, it is forming a wedge pattern. It's a wedge pattern, which is almost like trying to beat that high, but not quite. And right now, today's up about 12 points. It seems like it wants to stick its head above it, but it seems like it's trying. But let's see what's happened with the rest of the news today. And maybe that could be a way that could push the Russell 2000 up. The Q's having an okay day, 3 points up. The Q's is an ETF. An ETF, for those of you, if you want to invest in stock market and not really have to think about what kind of stocks, and you like technology, the Q's would be my number one stock. I've been trading this stock for 17 years. I love the Q's. It's a great stock, especially if you love technology. It's technology driven. Don't be surprised, even at the price of 520 that it is right now, if this stock is $2,000 in 4 years. Mark my words, the Qs are going to be at a $2,000 range in a couple in 4 years. It's moving just like the Russell. It's just so many great 100 companies driving that stock, and these companies are worth trillions of dollars. I mean, you have Nvidia, trillions. You have all these, and they're technology driven. So I think that's a good one. Q's, and let's look at the SPY, which I am in. I have an option on the SPY, and so far it's profitable, but I bought it with time. It's up, but yep, I'm up. Yeah, so it's up $1.73 SPY. Just I'm in a March call option on the SPY, so I'm kind of letting it do its thing, and then just letting it work. I I plan my work and I work my plan. It's real simple. Buying stocks can be so much fun, especially if you start looking at what products you enjoy. What do you drive? What's in your home? And if you're married, what does your spouse enjoy? Where do you guys go out to eat? What's in your home? You start seeing that 5 out of 10 of those things that you enjoy there's a publicly traded company in it. And you start looking at what is the gift that God has given you. Some of you understand industries that you know a sector very well, whether it's agriculture, whether it's technology, whether it's automotive, whether it's food services industry. You can trade what you already know. And if you were to tell me, well, Brother Garcia, I work at a bakery, you know what I would tell you? You deal with flour, you deal with sugar, you deal with coffee, you deal with chocolate. That's the futures market right there. Everything that you God has placed you, or every place where God has placed you, there's never an insignificance in God's equation. Everywhere where God has placed you is for you to learn a lesson, is for you to learn something of value where you can take that and use that into your future. You know, there are many times where I thought I was a porter, cleaning like a janitor service when I was 18 to 24 for the city of New York. I've always wondered, what is that going to teach me? Why am I doing this? And I understand as a 40-year-old that many of the things and the lessons about being punctual, about working with attitude, about working with grit, about working with intensity, about loving what you do, those are the lessons that I've learned. And even the products that I was using, those are products that now I can use to actually like trade in the stock market. So you never put a place where God has placed you and see it as a place of insignificance. Because God doesn't make no mistakes. God makes no mistakes in his equation. And one of the things that you start seeing that wherever God has placed you, you start seeing that you've learned something along the way. And everything that you've learned along the way, God is going to use. Many of you have dreams and visions that haven't yet been fulfilled. And now I believe that in the time of this administration financially, this is the time for you to really start getting on pace and building your financial fortress. You could start padding your 401ks, start padding your savings account, start padding your IRA accounts. And you could do it whether it's in the stock market or you could do it in real estate. I love those two places of investing because it's where I've learned how to make my money. And one of the things that as Christian entrepreneurs, many people think that you have to be like this super spiritual person to really to be like used of God. You know that in the marketplace, it's a place of ministry. You know, many of you been, I want to work in a church. I want to work in this place and I want to work in this ministry. But God has placed you as a business owner over people. You know, that's a ministry in itself. You know that even if you're a secretary, even if you're a janitor, even if you're a bus driver, even if you're just a lay person, you're still in ministry. Your life is the Bible for many people. Your life is the Bible that people will only read. And you start seeing that you start implementing in the marketplace the things that God has taught you. And you start seeing how we as Christians can affect the marketplace. You know, there are many people that have stayed away or separated God and money. It's like this separation. I don't know why. When I look at my Jewish brothers and sisters, they don't separate God and money, it's together. So you start looking at, we try to spiritualize money when God is saying it's simple. God's equation for money is very simple. Very simple. Here it is. You find a problem, you create a solution, and that equals your wealth. I'll say that again. You find a problem, you find a solution, and that equals your wealth. What do you mean? See, the keys to success and the keys to wealth is solving problems. The harder the problem that you can solve, the more money you'll make. This this computer, this camera, this microphone, they solve a problem for me. This chair that I'm sitting on solves a problem for me. You see, my mind thinks, my hands feel, my feet walk. You see, lawyers solve law problems. Doctors solve sickness problems. What do you solve? Once you learn the secret of business is finding a problem, creating the solution, it will change your whole equation. Because now you're not working for money. Now you're serving people. That's the difference. You see, many Jewish people believe that the more people you serve, the more people that are under your care, the more people that you're trying to help and lift up, the more money you make. It's not about selling something, it's not about making money, it's about serving people. Think of that. If you work at a restaurant, a server, you serve people. If you're a woodshop worker, you make cabinets, you serve people with your gift. Everyone here has a gift that God has given you. Everyone here has a gift that you can use to impact God's kingdom. Everyone here has a gift that you can use to make a global impact in your community. Everyone here has that gift. You just need to tap into that source. And what is that source? God. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God that took you out of the lion's den, the God that saved you out of the pit you were in. That's the same God that's going to help you grow your wealth. How do you grow your wealth? Study and show thyself approved. You know, in the Second Chronicles 12:32, it talks about that the children of Issachar, that they knew the times and seasons. I've always wondered, what is that, the times and seasons? What is that? Did they walk around just walking all pious, very spiritual, and just really just walking by the Spirit? Did they do all that? No. What the children of Issachar knew, that they knew the times and seasons, was they were people of study. They studied trends. They studied analysis. They studied the patterns. If we were to call them in modern day times, they were really financial analysts. That's what the children of Issachar were, financial analysts or statisticians. And you start seeing that everything, if you plan your work and you work your plan, God would divinely, he would divinely order your steps and take you to that next season that you're going to. See, as my gift is for helping you financially to build up your financial castle. And doing that through the stock market, doing that through the real estate is a way where many of you could start building. And I'm believing that the next 4 years during the Trump administration, it's going to be the best opportunities that you will find. Don't miss this moment. Don't miss this opportunity. Many of you, you're going to have opportunities to get out of debt. Many of you are going to have opportunities to get out of debt and pad your savings account again. The last 4 years have been horrendous for many people. Everywhere I go, people are struggling, talking about, I don't have enough. Inflation has really hurt me. Now is the time. I would say stop spending money on stupid stuff. Stop buying stupid stuff to impress people who don't even you don't even like. It's time to tighten up your belt, tighten up your wallet, start putting money away. Start putting money in a stock market account. One of the Bible lessons that I totally love, and it's about the parable of the talents. You understand that story that Jesus, when he talked about the parable of the talents, to one the master gave five, to the other he gave two, and to the other he gave one. The one that he gave five able to double and multiply it, and the master gave him more. The one with the two talents also multiplied it, and the master gave him more. And scripture never says what did they invest their money, but what we do know that the scripture highlights one, and it's the one that God gave one talent. What did he do? He buried it. He was so afraid to let it go that he buried it. And what did the master say? Thou wicked servant, it would have been better if you would have put it in the bank to at least collect interest. So it's investing your money. Don't let your money sit. I know there's a popular conundrum and a popular adage about saving money. Saving money is for losers. I'm going to say it again. Saving money is for losers. What do you mean? To understand what I'm saying, you have to understand the fiat currency that we're in. We're not backed by gold. We're backed basically by the petrodollar right now. Our money, it's a currency. Think of it as a current. You are a conduit. Currency flows through you. So you have a George Washington bill. If those of you, I'm gonna try to see if I have one right here. I may have one. But this is what I love about George Washington right here. This is actually a silver certificate. So this is silver certificate. So this is what I want you to know about George Washington. George Washington at one time used to fight for your freedom. Now that was over 200 years ago, but now George Washington, he fights for you, but he fights through financial freedom. And what does George Washington do? Is when I let go of this George Washington, I want him to come back with more of his friends. I want you to remember this. I will only set him free if he comes back with two or three. I'm going to say that again. I will only set him free if he comes back with two or three. I want to know that when I'm deploying my money, that it is coming back with an investment. Stock market, real estate, businesses, those gives rate of returns. If you're spending money on stupid stuff, going out to eat, going out to just spending stuff on just dumb stuff, you eat your wealth. Many of you are poor because you choose to be. I'm going to say that again. Many of you are poor because you choose to be. It's about priorities. You have to make this dollar work for you. And you can only set him free if he comes back with two or three. If you have that mindset, it'll totally change the way you invest. It totally where you want to spend your money. If you start seeing that, you don't start spending your money in places where it's not gonna double or it's not gonna increase. And that's what I tell you guys. The stock market is a wonderful place to start learning how to do this. And it's a place where even with a small amount of money, you can just start investing. You look at stocks like Rivian, stocks like Ford. Those are $13, $14 stocks. Ford, 11, 10, 12 bucks. You start looking at stuff like that. You don't have to be some multi-millionaire, multi-gazillionaire to start. A lot of it is about habit and time. Seed, time, and harvest. Many preachers preach the gospel or at least finances as a name it and claim it. And I'm gonna say something that might be controversial for you guys, but there's no $1,000 seed that breaks the back of poverty. I'm sorry to tell you that. There's no $1,000 seed to break the back of poverty. It's not scriptural. Find me where it says that in the Bible. We need to stop saying that stuff. There's no scripture that backs that up. And it's a false teaching. You know how you invest, how you grow your account? By being prudent and investing your money. That's how you grow your money. That's how you do God's equation. And many of you here, your business is really finding that problem and creating that solution. That's the key to your wealth. Many of you have ideas that have just been in your head that you haven't cultivated. We're coming into that season where we're going into 2025, and you need to understand is what's going to change for you. Is it going to be the same old in 2025 as you did in 2024? Are you going to have goals that you're not going to accomplish because you're lazy? Are you going to just say, oh, I'm going to do this if God wills? And you try to throw it on God, like waiting on God. God's waiting on you. God is waiting on you. Many of you are now excited. Like many of you here, I'm excited that Trump won. I voted for him all 3 times. Facts. Facts. Even with his administration, many of you are going to get comfortable when you should be vigilant about your portfolios, vigilant about your 401ks, vigilant about your IRA and your savings accounts. Vigilant. I'm telling you, take the next few months, start dedicating and studying in your craft, and you are going to see such a huge difference that you'll be saying to yourself, I should have done this sooner. There's certain I follow an Instagram page that really talks about if you've invested like $10,000 in this company, what would it be like 5 or 10 years from now? There's a lot of companies, if you would have invested $10,000 in about 5, 10 years, it would have been $1 million. Just being patient. Some of you would have put 10,000 in another company, and in 5 or 10, it would have been like 250,000. That's the super savings plans of the rich. How do you fight inflation? By buying assets. That's why the savers are losers. It's not that they're losers like personally, they're losing power, buying power. So think of it, the same house that you bought 3 or 4 years ago, like the house that I live in, I bought it at a discount at 135. This house is worth 450,000 now. It's such a crazy thing. It's about investing and really playing on the long-term game and having the long-term vision instead of the short game. Many people want everything right there, right there. You want it right there, but that's not God's equation. It rarely happens for that. Many people that have overnight success will tell you you weren't there when they were working hard when nobody was looking. That's what you look at, and you start seeing that investing with your family, like getting your kids involved. Look at the products that they enjoy. Look at what they love. And you start seeing that investing could be a family affair. It could be a family place where you can all learn together. And you start by looking at what products you have in your home. What do you love? And you start seeing that investing can be very fun. Investing can be very entertaining, and also it really builds family and community. And it also, you start seeing where you could start investing in your children's children and leave that inheritance. And that's a key thing. And I'm still learning this. I haven't arrived. I'm still learning. The good things that I've surrounded myself with very smart financial people who know more than me. I don't know it all. But one of the things is that I know that I don't know it all, and that I seek and look for help from people who are doing better than me and have done it longer than me. So I hope you guys have fun today on this Wednesday. I still think the stock market is going to have a lot of more movement up because we are expecting Friday's report is really going to be very important to see if the Fed does start cutting rates. If the Fed does start cutting rates, there's going to be a bull run on the housing market, home buying, and you start seeing that people won't rotate their money outside of treasuries and kind of keep that trend going down, which is when money moves into the treasuries, usually it comes out of the stock market just as a safe haven play for a lot of investors here. So I look forward to seeing you guys. Leave any comments. If you love what you're doing, share and like. Share it with your friends. Tell them about the finance pastor, and I look forward to doing more videos like this. Until next time.